Another thing that I think has been really fascinating to watch is, what are the recent trends happening that are driving these knowledge-driven cultures? Over the last several years, there's been a lot of changes going on that I think have led to the need for companies to make this something that is critical and core to how they operate as an organization. And so I wanted to quickly talk about a few of those. The first one is the rate of change that happens within an organization. One really clear way to see that rate of change in action is product development. So almost every organization builds some sort of product and releases that, whether it's physical or virtual or digital. The point is that is just happening faster and faster than ever before. And when you think about the knowledge that sort of swirls around that product, how you built it, what the product does, who the product competes with, and how you position against that, that knowledge is changing faster than ever before because we're building and releasing new products faster than we ever have. We actually measure this amongst our own customers and how they use Guru and how often they update the knowledge that they create. And it's pretty fascinating. So 24% of all the knowledge across all our customers is updated every quarter. So this information is changing all the time. The next trend, and I think this one probably is one of the more relatable trends that we've seen and just heard over and over again, is this idea of how often we work in more and more places. And by places, that simply could mean browser tabs, but it could also mean applications that we use to get our job done, applications we use to communicate with each other and with our customers. There's just so many more of them, right? Look at your browser right now and look at how many tabs you have open, right? It's a feeling of being overwhelmed. And I think that feeling has anxiety and a sense of it's too much, kind of attached to it. And again, we've actually looked at this, and the average employee switches between 35 job critical applications more than 1,100 times every day. Think about every time you change a window, right? Every time that happens, there's a productivity tax that comes with that. And the knowledge that you need to do your job really needs to be not the 36th one of those. It really is helping you do those tasks you're already trying to do and switching between so many windows to get that job done. And then one that we're all feeling in one way or another, in 2019, there was a lot of talk about a remote work policy. And a remote work policy simply means that for some portion of a given work week, some percentage of employees are not in an actual office. They're working remote, they're working from home. There are many companies that have been, remote native from the beginning. They intentionally designed their teams and organizations that way. But this is something we were talking about in 2019. Then 100% of us got immediately thrust into a remote work context. And it's had some really fascinating implications and changes as a result of that. There's now a view that there's a permanent change that will happen. And there's a number of reasons behind this permanent change. But the thought is that there'll be a meaningful number. 25% of the workforce will work from home multiple days a week. Some of the reasons behind this thought is, it's actually working better than I thought it would. I didn't know if my team would actually do their work if they weren't sitting in an office, right? And then you actually are forced into this construct, and wow, it turns out it's not that bad. So this, I think, is a permanent change in the way that we work, and I think there's really interesting and frankly, some very positive opportunities that come out of that. Because if you think about this world, if you think about people working in different geographies, time zones, offices, homes, different times in the day, different days in the week, it all leads up to this idea that the way many of us learned to work together, which is what I would call in real time, walk up to your desk, get on a meeting with you in person, get on a call with you in person, those things get harder and harder to do. And what it really means is we're shifting. We're shifting from this idea of synchronous work, where we can all work in real time, where we can all just go up to the desk, like I mentioned, to asynchronous work. And in asynchronous work, there's not this feeling of real-time immediacy that goes with our day-to-day work. I think, frankly, that releases a huge pressure valve. Because if all of a sudden the work I'm trying to do and get done in a given day isn't constantly interrupted by good-intentioned people who are trying to talk and collaborate with us for whatever reason's going on, and instead we're operating in an asynchronous mode where we commit to writing down the decisions we make. We commit to writing down how we operate as a company. We commit to writing down the way our products work and our markets and all the various things that we need to know to operate as a company. That commitment to writing is one of the steps to making asynchronous work happen, because we're committing to say, I'm not going to go bother that person in real time. I'm going to learn first. And if I still have questions, great. It's an awesome opportunity, though. It really is.